Here is Robbie Smith sharing his thoughts about his grandfather and the 50 years of Bob Smith Motors.
So my career at Bob Smith Motors officially began in 1996. It was essentially my father just saying he wanted to bring me aboard and start out selling cars. I had really no desire to sell cars. I didn't know how to sell cars. I didn't know much about cars. But thankfully, I had just some phenomenal trainers. My sales manager at the time was Dennis Rainier, and he just took me under his wing. And I'm so grateful for the time that he spent with me to learn how to learn a process that was just so customer centric, and it really led to me having some very successful years as a car salesman. And then I began the path to management, thankfully, just with some great training along the way. And one thing that enabled a lot of that was the fact that my grandfather, I believe, had a vision for me to be in the position that I'm in today, that he felt, that he trusted that I was going to be somebody that could just continue his legacy of honesty, integrity, value, very valued in customer service, very thankful for the team that we have and the longevity of the people that I work with. We've got numerous people in key positions that have been with us for nearly 40 years now. And I'm just so grateful to have those relationships that we've grown together and cultivated together. The other thing my grandfather, I remember very well, is that he included me in a lot of meetings so that I got to know people in key positions in Lincoln Mercury and Ford Motor Company. And I don't know why he chose me. I think it was mostly because I was willing to go. Scott is not a traveler. He'll admit that. And he doesn't like sitting in meeting rooms. And, again, and my father, he wasn't into going and doing that stuff either. So maybe it was me by default. But either way, I'm so grateful for that. And throughout that, I also got to meet a lot of great friends that own Lincoln Mercury dealerships across the Northwest. And then in 2007, he really entrusted me by enrolling me in the NADA 20 group. And that is really where I feel like I've really grown as an operations manager at our store, knowing that it's just not all sales. There's so many facets to what we do. A lot of people in our business, they start in sales and they're just so worried about sales and selling cars and all that. And there's just so much more to the automotive dealership than just selling a car. And the last 15 years, with what I've learned through 20 Group and everything else, has just been so tremendous. And my grandfather's the one to thank for that, because he's the one that endorsed he's the one that endorsed me to be able to do that. And for that, I'm just incredibly grateful for that.
Celebrate 50 years together. Bob Smith Motors, Central Avenue in Billings.